have enough road to get up to 88.
Welcome back to Front Row Cinema, a movie podcast for movie lovers by movie lovers. I am your host, TJ Trimboli, and with me, as always, my co-host, long lost begotten son, Mr. James O'Reilly.
Of Steve Zissou, or like
Of
just
Steve
like in
Zissou.
general?
I mean, aren't we all someone's lost begotten son?
I guess. I mean, I talk to my dad like once a week.
Well, good for you.
I don't feel very lost or begotten, although I'm not sure what begotten means actually.
It means you be getting it, buddy.
Oh, that didn't sound right.
You be getting it aquatic style. Jim, got a little fun news for you before we really dive into our movie tonight.
Oh,
Yeah, that old salty devil Spider-Man just became the 8th movie of ever to gross $2 billion.
yeah.
Crazy. Fucking
And like I
crazy.
said, oh well, I don't know if I said this on the actual show or if this was before the show, but you know, maybe a good example of where you let a character simmer a little bit and like it's gonna pay off when the bill comes due.
True. Yeah. Well, what the last Spider-Man movie was? What 2021?
Yeah, it's
Crazy.
been like a few years.
Yeah.
It's been a few years for sure.
Yeah. And if we've learned anything, if there's any fireproof superhero right at the moment, it's Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's kind of like a perfect storm because you're right. Spider-Man is like,
Bulletproof.
I would say like, I don't even think it's arguable that he's like the most popular comic book character. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
mean, he's the only one.
it's like,
The first Spider-Man movie came out in 2002. We're now 2026. These movies just keep making more money.
right, right.
Yeah.
And like movies aside, like from like children's television shows to like comic books to like just general like pop culture osmosis. You know what I mean? Like I feel like Spider-Man's pretty easily the most popular thing that is in that like canon, right?
For
Um,
sure. I mean,
like you got that going for you. It's been a few years since you've made a Spider-Man movie. I would say it's been a few years since you've made a Marvel movie that anybody was really excited about, right? Like I mean,
absolutely.
I think we talked about this a little bit on one of the shows recently, but Marvel's been pretty like lackluster. And I'll be honest, I haven't seen a lot of the movies. Like I think the last one I really watched was probably the Doctor Strange sequel, and then I think recently I watched the Anthony Mackie Captain America movie.
Ooh, what a one to
Like,
check in. What a one to check in on.
yeah, it wasn't that bad. It just like the only thing that annoyed me about that one, maybe the most, was that like why did they blow the Red Hulk in the trailer? You know, like it would have been so much cooler if that like. Well, I didn't know about that before the movie started because the whole time I was just like, wait, when is he turning into the Red Hulk? Like, what's going on?
It's like, give it to me now. But yeah, I
But
mean,
like that puts it into perspective, I think, where it's like Marvel hasn't really made anything that was like appointment viewing, like that was in the cultural kind of like onlineness of everything, like to a point where everybody was like super jazzed about any of it, right?
yeah.
It's been a while since that happened.
So, I mean, Spider-Man has also shown that he is able to do this off of the brand name of Spider-Man alone.
Right.
All the other 2 billion movies that are Marvel movies are Avengers movies. You need the whole gang together
Right.
to be making this kind of money. Spider-Man is doing this just him, selling this on his name alone.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So I mean, it is nice. It is a big boon for Spider-Man.
Big
am
boon for
waiting
Spider-Man.
with bated breath to see what happens with Doomsday.
Yeah, that's going to be very, very interesting. And Doomsday, if Doomsday also clears $1 billion, we will officially now 2026 be the number 2 year for most billion-dollar movies, only behind 2019.
I was gonna say, yeah, 2019, which I think was like the biggest box
9.
office year like of all time, right?
Yeah. 2019 had $9 billion grossers.
I think that's when Guy Ritchie entered the $1 billion club.
Yeah,
No?
yes, he did with a little movie called Aladdin.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're tied right now with I want to say it's 2018 or 2017 with 5 movies that have grossed over $1 billion.
Yeah. Which
And
makes sense. I mean, that really was like the peak of the box office, was like that late 20 teens.
yeah, yeah, and it seems that
Like
like we might
business was booming
yeah,
like back then.
business was booming then. We were around for it. We could tell you it was a busy at the theater. But huge for Spider-Man. Huge also for the Odyssey, dude. The Odyssey is at $1.3 billion. Like, who would have thunk?
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people would have thunk. I
That's
think.
that's huge. I mean, I knew it was going to be huge, but like an R-rated 3 hour, like down and dirty sword and sandals movie making $1.3 billion. Like, that's not a given.
I think it is a given when it's Christopher Nolan making it off of like his Oppenheimer release. Like, it just because like I'll tell you why I think it's a given, because the first step is already done. Like, you have like a huge name director that people get excited about making another movie. You have like the IP behind it, like, which it's a pretty dope story. Like, it wouldn't have lasted thousands of years if it wasn't, right? So like you have like a lot of people who would already be interested in this, and then I just fully trust in Christopher Nolan to make like a good enough movie that people are going to go be hyped for the opening weekend, and they're going to leave and tell everybody that they know that they need to go see it. You know what I mean? Like, it's like I could have easily guessed that that would get $1 billion.
How does Christopher Nolan celebrate this win? He gets photographed at Universal Studios Hollywood riding the new Fast and Furious roller coaster. What
That's
a
right, baby.
what a what
Because
a
he's fast and furious, bro. That's what he
what
does.
what a fucking legend. Confirmed director for Fast 11, Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
He's taking a ride on the wild side.
Yeah. Now, what if he makes Alita 2? Do you think that gets $1 billion?
All
Or do
right.
you think it needs James Cameron to get over the top? I mean, like, what? How does it break out?
I mean, the first one only had Cameron what producing, right? Wasn't it
Right.
Robert
The first one
Rodriguez
was
that
not
directed it?
directed, but yeah, Robert Rodriguez
Yeah.
directed the first one.
So
But
maybe
this is, dude, we've already gone over this. He's pulling out of Avatar. He's lining up his other projects, and we all know what's going to be first. So don't come at me like talking to me about he didn't direct the first one.
he is locking
He didn't
himself
direct
in.
T1 either, TJ.
All right, all right. Simmer yourself down.
Did he did he
He
direct the
directed the
first
first
Alien movie? I
Terminator.
don't remember.
No, he didn't direct the first Alien. He directed Aliens.
I, I know. I'm just throwing that. You got to realize, like, the important part of this argument
Important.
isn't whether it's true or not. It's that James Cameron is going to make Alita 2. That's what's going to happen.
Lead it to Electric Boogaloo. I'm in. I mean, if James Cameron says he comes out and goes, "Oh, I'm going to direct the second one," like I'll be in. As long as Mahershala Ali is coming back.
Yeah. I mean, hey, Blade's canceled. He's free.
Dude, how do you fuck up having Mahershala Ali right after he wins an Academy Award and you can't get that movie off the ground?
Yeah. I have a feeling that it never really fit into like the grand scheme of what they're trying to do, and that's always what they're focused on, you know what I mean? And then like not only that, like it's fun when you're like, okay, yeah, like things are like hot right now. We'll make a Mahershala Ali Blade movie. It'll be the tits, and it'll be like, kind of maybe if it's on the periphery of what we're doing in the big scheme of things, that's fine. But then like the big scheme of everything you're doing just like completely unravels and like everybody hates every movie you're making, and like Jonathan Majors gets fired, you know what I mean? Like it's like I feel like I could see a world where Kevin, how do you say his last name? Is it Feige?
Or I guess.
Sure.
Think.
Whatever the guy who
Sure.
runs Marvel is, you
Yeah.
know who I'm talking about.
I know who you're
Um
talking about.
he I feel like there was probably a come to Jesus moment at some point where like his time now had to be spent on like how do we get RDJ back? Like how do we get Chris Evans back? I know Iron Man's dead. Let's figure this out.
Yeah.
Like it just feels like there all of a sudden there was a lot bigger fish to fry, and like I don't know how a Mahershala Ali Blade movie fits into like the Avengers at the end of the day. Like it's probably got to be its own like self-contained kind of thing.
Just make that then. Like keep it in the like it could be a section of the MCU, but like you don't need to put everyone that you make a movie for in the Avengers.
Yeah, but that's the thing, TJ, they do.
I know, I
They
know. And we're
do.
all the right, and we're all the better for it because we get to see Shang-Chi and Gambit look at each other. Oh, I
Yeah,
can't wait.
yeah. This is the tomb that they've built themselves. They
Yeah,
do need to do that. That's what
yeah.
everybody who's like gung ho about this should expects. You know what I mean?
Here
Like,
lies Kevin Feige, slave to the
right,
machine.
right. That like so yeah, maybe that's your answer. Is like they've painted themselves into this box where the Mahershala Ali Blade movie is just never gonna happen. You know?
What a shame. Because him in like all black and Alita was like so badass when it's just like, bring me the one they call Alita.
Yeah,
It was like,
right.
dude, get that guy a sword and let's see him kill vampires. Like, let's
Yeah,
go.
and I'm not gonna lie, we're probably gonna be talking about this more on our next episode, but like
Yes.
I maybe watched Blade Trinity not too long ago, and like, man, would a Mahershala Ali Blade movie would have been sick. Man, would it have been sick.
Never forget what they took from us, people.
Yeah,
Fucking animals.
there's still hope. Maybe one day.
Maybe one day we could, yeah, we could all hope once they're done with this Doomsday and Secret Wars bullshit, maybe we can scale it back and we can get that Blade movie.
Yeah, because it's like that's really the perfect example, man. Because it's like you're doing Secret Wars and like whatever with Doomsday, and I'm pretty sure I'm no like comic like aficionado, but I'm pretty sure like the whole point of that is like all of the universes are ending, and Doctor Doom like collects like anybody who's left over in this place called Battle World, and like they're all just like fighting each other, and it's like literally the strongest people in the Marvel universe. And it's like you can't just have Blade be there like, what's your deal? Oh, I'm like half vampire. It's pretty cool. Like, like
I mean,
it just doesn't work.
does it work any less than like half of the Avengers in the Doomsday trailer just showing up with just guns and like that's their thing? Like what the fuck? Like Black Widow's got a lot to offer there with just like guns and
Yeah. I mean, that's fair. Yeah.
like I'd rather fucking half vampire Blade be there ripping his fucking knives and katanas and shit.
Yeah. Maybe.
Black Widow's just a Russian spy. Like what the fuck is she gonna do?
Yeah. But I mean, she's just got to be in the movie at this point, though. Again, it's the tomb they've painted themselves into, you
Sure.
know?
Yeah. Yeah. They just painted themselves into a corner and
Like
this
she's
is
probably got it in her contract that she needs to be in every Avengers movie somehow. Like
well, Florence Pugh is there. Be there opening night, baby. Let's turn our attention back to 2004, Jim. We've done our due diligence on how we're looking right now. Let's go back to yesteryear. What are we watching? What are we watching tonight?
we're watching the Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou.
That's right. The 2004, I guess like dramedy you would call it,
Yeah,
I
I think
guess.
that's appropriate. I think it's
That's yeah.
appropriate.
That fits for that one. Directed by Wes Anderson from a script by him and Noah Baumbach. I did not see a Noah Baumbach call out coming out there. And starring Bill Murray, Angelica Houston, Willem Dafoe, Jeff Goldblum, Kate Blanchett, Owen Wilson, and many, many more. Now, Jim, I made it no secret that I was not a big Wes Anderson fan last week when queuing up for this episode. So it's going to be very interesting to go back to it. But that doesn't stop me from having the DVD for this movie.
Of course it doesn't.
Well, I got this one because I did see this movie in theaters. This was actually a movie that we didn't go together, but I did see this movie in theaters. I had the ticket stub for it that we could bust out when we're doing our box office run. But I did see
Okay.
this in theaters, so I got to have the DVD. So we got the DVD.
I can't wait to see this DVD blurb. I don't know that there's a worse director to try and write a DVD blurb for than Wes Anderson.
I'm already telling you, just looking on the back here, big paragraph, big
Yeah.
paragraph.
Can't
Already,
imagine it would be anything else.
already a lot, but we'll give it a shot here. We got our log line in the back here, and it reads: Internationally famous oceanographer Steve Zissou and his crew set sail on an expedition to hunt down the mysterious, elusive, possibly non-existent jaguar shark that killed Zissou's partner during the documentary filming of their latest adventure. They are joined on their voyage by a young airline co-pilot who may or may not be Zissou's son, a beautiful journalist assigned to write a profile of Zissou, and his estranged wife and co-producer Eleanor. They face overwhelming complications, including pirates, kidnapping, and bankruptcy.
Yeah. That makes
Yeah.
it sound way more
Yeah.
fun than it actually is.
Yeah. Yeah, they really spiced it up there
Which maybe that is
in the
kind of
back
the point
half.
of the DVD blurb. But
Yeah, they really gotta spice it up. They gotta give it to the people. Now Jim, first time watch or not for you? You've seen this before? What's our memory of this movie?
I've seen this before, and like this is one of the Wes Anderson movies because like I had seen a lot of Wes Anderson movies by this point, and I mean like there I guess there's not that many of them that have come out by now,
Yeah, I think there's
but like
only a couple at this point. And I remember you being a huge Rushmore fan. You would talk about that fairly often when
I
we were
I
kids.
am a fan of Rushmore, and I am a big fan of the Royal Tenenbaums. Probably so more so Rushmore than the Royal Tenenbaums, but like yeah, like Rushmore is like one of my favorite movies. I think it's like really good. Like it's really funny and like drab and like is kind of like a perfect like Wes Anderson movie. And like I love the Royal Tenenbaums. At the time, that was really the only two I had seen, and then this one came out, and I did not like this one nearly as much as I liked those other two.
You did you see this in theaters or you just caught this on like home video when it came around?
I believe I saw this in theaters, but I don't have any like specific memory of that. It might have just been a home video one.
Gotcha. Yeah. I liked Rushmore. I think you showed me Rushmore, I think too, when we were kids. We
I
watched it.
I must have because that was one of those movies I caught at some point on the movie channels, and I was like, dude, this movie is the best. Like
Yeah.
it's so good.
Yeah, I liked Rushmore. I didn't care that much for the Royal Tenenbaums back then. I honestly don't even remember a thing about it. Now at this point, I would have to rewatch it again to like really remember any of my thoughts on it. And then I
Yeah, yeah.
remember seeing Life Aquatic in theaters and enjoying it. I know we're fairly early in December that we're going to talk about for its box office run. My ticket stub here. I didn't see it until December 28th. I saw it over Christmas week. I went and saw it, and I remember seeing it because I remember my dad dropping me off to see the movie and then picking me up right after and taking me to his the studio where him and his cover band played. And I got to sit in with them, and it was like I remember it so clearly because it was like my first time like playing in with like a live band before. So it was just like a huge like it's like a core memory day.
Yeah,
And it's just funny that like that day started with seeing like the Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou. So
yeah,
I was very curious to go back to this movie if I was remembering it with the rose-colored glasses because it was just like associated to a day that like is fondly thought of in my mind, or if the movie like actually just hit hard before I went and did like another fun thing after
yeah.
that.
Right. It's just like it's like piggybacking off of another like actually
Yeah.
great memory.
Yeah. So it was going to be interesting to go back and watch this one and see what my thoughts were on this returning to because I don't really even after this I think the only other Wes Anderson movie I've really watched since this movie is The Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think a lot of it.
really?
Yeah, I I think there's probably one or two other ones that I've seen because I'd had to have seen more to start to like sour on him, and then I really just dove off like after Fantastic Mr. Fox, like which is a movie that I like. I was just like I'm done with Wes Anderson. I don't really
Yeah.
care for his shtick, although his live action shtick I just don't really care for. And I saw Asteroid City because I love Tom Hanks. So I was like, I'm going to watch everything that Tom Hanks is in. And I watched that
God,
movie because of it. And I was like, this movie
I
sucks.
dude, I love Asteroid City. I
No,
love that movie.
could
I
not
love
stand
it
it.
so much.
Could
It's
did
like
not
it's
care for it
something that we
whatsoever.
differ on. I'll say like I will take a surreal movie that like keeps me interested, even if it has like not necessarily like a plot. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I will totally watch that movie if like the individual scenes are interesting and like I mean it obviously Wes Anderson has like his like signature like look at this point, you know what I mean? Like it's
I mean,
like
he's got
that I
his
could take or
style.
leave,
Yeah.
but I really liked Asteroid City just because like I thought it was cool the way it like bounced back and forth between it like being a play, but then also us like watching the people make the play, and then like the scene where like Jason Schwartzman like goes to like audition for the part is like blows my mind. It's so good, you know what I mean? Like I love that movie. I love it so much.
Yeah. I think that's always been like one of the like like the one of the mechanics of certain movies that it just never really attracted to me or like was my jam is like that kind of like surreal style of filmmaking It's something that Wes Anderson does a lot in his movies. It's something that like David Lynch does a lot in his movies. And movies like that, I've just never really been as invested in as other ones.
Yeah, I could see that because, like, especially a movie
Just
that's like meta, like Asteroid City, um, you're basically saying that everything that happens in the actual Asteroid City parts of the movie are inconsequential. You know what I mean? Like, they don't mean anything for anybody technically because they're like a fiction within a work of fiction. You know what I mean? It's like I could see where that would take people out of it for a movie like that, but I still think the movie itself is like about something, even though it's in like a very non-linear way, which I think is cool.
I get that. Just different strokes for different folks.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Um, yeah. I think we're ready then. Cue it up and dive into some box office numbers. I'm very interested to see if this caught on with audiences at all, because this is just such a bizarre movie. I feel like for 2004, I'm very interested to see if this found like a life at all at the box office.
Numbers, dates, numbers, numbers, dates, hooray. Dates, numbers. Show me the money.
All right. And so the Life Aquatic is going to come out. I think this is our first movie from December 10th through the 12th, right?
It is.
Yeah. And it's going to open against a $50 million budget.
For Wes Anderson, that seems kind of high.
It does seem kind of high, but when we compare it to a lot of the other movies we've been doing recently, and like you figure like what they're shooting and stuff, it doesn't seem that high, you know?
It
Like
doesn't
there's a
seem
lot of like
crazy. There's a lot of really good production value in this movie. Like I will say,
right.
like even though they spent like 50 does seem kind of high for Wes Anderson, it's all there and on screen.
Right, right. And like again, they're like shooting things like that a lot of it appears to be on the water. Like they have that weird set like where it feels like everything is just connected and I don't know if that's just them doing like movie magic or they really built like the set like that. But but yeah, I could see where this would cost 50 when we've like when we compare it to some of the other like mid what seemingly should be mid-budget movies that have costed like as much or more, you know?
I mean, hey, Kangaroo Jack still costs more.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
Will never not
And
blow my mind every time we do that.
but let's see if it catches on because if you had to guess, like what this is coming out in December, what kind of run you think they're looking for here?
I mean, you're hoping to go through the Christmas season for sure and get something out of that.
Right. This is the classic we've talked about where this movie comes out in mid-December. They're hoping it gets a little bit of word of mouth, does good during the holidays, and then stays in theaters through January when there's like dog shit out, right?
Yep.
And so this week it's only opening on two screens. So
Ooh, it's a
all the way
light.
down in 27th place with $113,000.
Yeah, but I mean, for only being on two screens, it's a pretty
It's pretty
decent
good.
chunk. It's a pretty good chunk of change right there.
It's a good average. I mean, it's a way better average than like most of the movies at the top are getting. I'll put it that way. But they are also on like 3,500 screens, you
Yeah.
know.
Apples and
So
oranges at that point. I'm very curious to see how many screens it gets up to if it can get into wide release.
yeah, and so I'll just like I'll kind of spoil the lead here. It only gets into the top 10 once, but let's follow it. So
Ooh.
weekend two, it's going to be down in 31st place, still only on two screens, only a 12.6% drop, down to $98,787.
Interesting that they
And
didn't
then,
fluctuate any screens for the first 2 weeks.
well, yeah, because I mean, weekend three, 24th to the 26th, this is when you're going to see it get its widest release.
Okay.
And so this weekend it goes up to 1,105 screens
Mm.
and has an astonishing, maybe the biggest number we've ever seen, 4,503% jump to
Jump, all right.
let's say $4.6 million.
Okay. All right. I mean, hey, one of those screens was a Levittown 10 for me, baby. Where I
That's
saw
right,
it.
yeah. This is probably why you waited until the 24th.
This is true. Yeah,
It
yeah. I was
probably
gonna say
wasn't playing anywhere near you until that
that
weekend.
first weekend, which I mean, I'm sure at one of those two theaters was probably New York. It was probably like one in New York City and one in LA.
Right,
But
right.
I don't know at 2004 at 14 if I'm being let go into the city to go catch Life Aquatic.
Right, right, exactly. This is also the only week it's going to be inside the top 10 is that Christmas weekend. Um, Still holds pretty good here through the holidays though. So weekend 4, this is New Year's weekend, like the 31st through the 2nd. Same
Yes.
amount of screens, only a 2.7% drop.
Right.
Which I mean, you're starting from a low place, so it's not like it's like making like big buco dollars here, but I mean 2.7, that's maybe the biggest drop we've ever seen, followed by the smallest drop we've ever seen. You know what I mean? And it's in 11th place with 4.4 million. Then actually cracks the top 10 a second time here. It's going to be
That
in
actually gets
10th
2 weeks.
place in weekend 5. Only a 38% drop from like going into that January 7th through the 9th weekend. So it's in 10th place that weekend with 2.7 million.
So racking up small little totals here and there. They just got to hope that that's good enough week over week to get them over the 50 million mark.
Yeah. Well, and I'll tell you why, because we're getting kind of to the point where these would be coming out in this chronology, right? How many
Mhm.
Oscars do you think Life Aquatics with Steve Zissou gets nominated for?
Zero.
Yes, correct. It's 0. And like we know we know that the December movie that you're hoping catches on and stays in theaters through January, one of the key features of this is you need the Oscar bump.
Yeah.
You know
You
what I
need
mean?
that. You
Like you
need that
need
Oscar
to
buzz is going to keep you alive through January and maybe
right.
into
You need
February.
you need to get somebody to get an acting nomination somewhere
Yeah.
or like maybe like a screenplay
Yeah, you
so
need a
that
life.
like
You need a lifeline.
yeah, so that all these people who've never heard of your movie and never would have seen it otherwise are just like who see all the Oscar movies are like, hey, let's go see The Life Aquatic with Steve
Yeah.
Zissou, you know?
Not even
Um,
a Golden Globe.
I didn't check the Golden Globes. Hold on, let's see. But does anybody really give a shit about the Golden Globes? Like there's no Golden Globes
Yeah.
bump in
That's
January.
that's where you really got to kick yourself. Be like, man, we couldn't even get a Golden Globe nomination. What are we doing?
Yeah, the Golden Globes bump is like then people start to think, "Oh, is it going to get nominated for Oscars?" Like that's not like it's not its own thing though. It's like the preview to the Oscar stuff.
Yeah, that's when you're holding out. You're like, all right, well, if it gets an Oscar, then we got to go see it.
Let's see. How many Golden Globes?
I'm gonna go zero. Also,
Did not win any Golden Globes. And you want to know why it didn't win any Golden Globes, TJ?
so it wasn't nominated for any Golden
It
Globes.
received 0 nominations from the Hollywood Foreign Press Association.
Ooh, not even
So
the Hollywood Foreign Press was on this bandwagon.
right, right. And so like it is essential that in this part of the run that you be nominated for awards. It's like part of the bet, right?
Yep.
And so going into weekend 6, which is the 14th through the 16th, it drops 50.8% down in 19th place with 1.4 million. That is also MLK weekend. And then, I mean, after that, it's just completely off the map, right? Like the screens are dwindling every week. Weekend 7, it's down to only 425. It's pulling in $527,000. It's
So
going to
it's
peter out. It's going to
yeah,
peter out.
sinking like a stone at that point. Golden Globes have passed. They're like, we're dead in the water. We're done. Pack it in, boys.
Yeah. And like it can't be understated how much better this probably does through December if it's getting Oscar buzz, how much better it holds through January if it's getting Oscar buzz, and how that really like probably makes the whole thing work, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas where this ends up, like with our totals, it's gonna finish with only $24 million domestically.
Yeah,
Only
that's not what you
$10.8
want.
million internationally for a
Oh,
worldwide total of $34.8 million against that $50 million budget. Like now,
nice.
if you're telling me you get to like 45, 50 million domestically and this pulls in 60 worldwide and then we got DVD sales, like we're in business. And I think it realistically gets there with that awards buzz, but it's just never going to do it if it's not in that conversation, you know?
Not hitting that. It's not. Oof. Yeah, that's a tough one. 34.8 is not going to get you there. But it will get you to the number 111 spot on our list here, behind Alfie's 35.1 and ahead of Seed of Chucky's 24.8. Probably not the two movies you want to be sandwiched in between.
Yeah, probably not.
Definitely not Cotton. It tracks. It's an odd movie. I can definitely see this movie, especially early on. I can see quirky Wes Anderson movies like this struggling to find an audience.
Well, I think that this is the kind of movie like he eventually hits his stride making. Like he definitely makes, but like I get how this is like a step along the way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like I think he definitely gets better at making this kind of movie as he goes on.
I mean, it would also be interesting to see what like when he hits his stride on making these movies. Like let's just say we go through his work uh post 2020 where he's kind of like hitting that stride of what people say like the French Dispatch, Asteroid City, Phoenician Scheme. I'd be very interested to see what those budgets are comparative to this. So
Yeah.
25 million budget on the French Dispatch,
Okay.
Asteroid City, $25 million budget, Phoenician Scheme, $25 million budget. So he's learned the lesson from the Life Aquatic that he has his vibe, but the vibe has a cap. And
Yeah.
if I spend $25 million and I can make the same look with that money, I'm in a much better standing here.
Yeah, and I think again, like I think he also gets better at it because like every movie you just listed, I think is better than The Life Aquatic. And then you left out like his
Yeah,
like
here,
fucking masterpiece.
Grand Budapest Hotel, $25
Right.
million.
Right.
Isle of Dogs, I guess it says 30, but I don't know if I'd count Isle of Dogs because that's more like a stop motion movie. So that I can see where that takes a little bit more.
Yeah.
Moonrise Kingdom, 16 million. So he figures out the cap. He's like, we don't spend more than $25 million.
I think it's either he figures out the cap or the people giving him the money figured out the cap. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they were just like, no, Wes, no more 50 million. Nope, we're not doing
Yeah.
that.
But to whoever came up with it, whether it was him realizing it or the studio enforcing it, is the right move because it's definitely done much better on returns for him
Right.
than
And,
this.
you know, a lot of those movies you just mentioned also get the awards nods. You know what I mean? Like,
Do they?
I know
Some of them more
Grand
than
Budapest
others, I
Hotel
think.
definitely got nominated for a lot of Oscars, didn't it?
I think Grand Budapest might have. I think some movies more than others get
Yeah,
nominated.
Grand Budapest Hotel was nominated for 9 Academy Awards.
Yeah, so that one for sure.
Asteroid City, I'm also pretty sure got nominated for Oscars, no?
I do not remember.
Oh no, it didn't. I'm wrong, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
So
see
yeah,
that.
probably just Grand Budapest Hotel then. I don't know
Yeah,
off the top of my head if any other ones did.
yeah. I don't think the Phoenician Scheme did because I don't remember 2025 if that really had any. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that one didn't get one either. So yeah, so not he's not hugely awarded filmmaker, but he has his niche, he has his market, he's tapped into what he knows works, and clearly it pays dividends for him because he puts out a movie like pretty much every like 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess the lesson on Life Aquatic he learned was scale it down, figure out a way to scale down the budget while still maintaining the aesthetic that he does in his
Right.
movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm. And I guess it worked out for him. Reception wise, though, for this movie, 57% from the critics, 82% from the audience, 7.2 from IMDb. Boots on the ground, people, Jim, Christmas week, not feeling it. D cinema score.
Whoa.
Yeah, they were not about it.
Yeah, but we talk about this all the time with the cinema score. The ending is too dour for it to be have a high cinema score.
This is true. Yeah, people, the average Joe Schmo going to the movies, they want to leave fulfilled. They want to leave happy. They want to
Yeah,
leave like they just went on a grand old time.
What they don't want to leave is confused about their emotions. That's what they don't want to have
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah. They don't want to be deflated by watching Owen Wilson unceremoniously die in a helicopter crash at sea.
Right, exactly. You got it.
We got some IMDb reviewers here for you, Jim. Some boots on the ground people. Let's see what they thought about this movie. We got our first 1-star here,
Oh boy.
and they had some thoughts. They wrote, I had the privilege of seeing The Life Aquatic at an early screening. Yes, I have seen Wes's other films, and this film is not only different, but just the worst thing that I have ever seen. It was a free industry screening, and I still asked for my money back. After the screening, Wes met with members of the Wes and members of the cast talked with the audience. Quite a large number of the audience members had left. As a matter of fact, no one understood a word that Owen Wilson said. Jeff Goldblum made no sense, and I was reminded of why Gina Davis left him. Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Quote, the reason that he is such a great actor is that he never had a thought of his own. And he proved that fact at the screening. Wait for it on free television.
Jesus, man.
Damn, dude, what Jeff Goldblum ever do to you?
Yeah, like calling out his ex-wife and shit.
Yeah.
God.
Catching strays. God damn. Man, Jim, we hit on one of the classics. It was a free screening and I still asked for my money back.
Yeah, it's like
Old reliable, baby.
Yeah. Cause like know you didn't. Like, why are you saying that? You absolutely didn't do that.
I'll take things that didn't happen for 200, Alex.
Right. And I'm like things that like they're not even like good fictionally. Like why it doesn't like add anything to what you're writing. I hate it so much.
Yeah. Also, he's just like, yeah. And at the Q&A, everybody left. Like, no one stayed for question. It's like, yeah, doubt, bro.
Really doubt.
Oh God. Another oneer for you here, Jim. They start with a plea. Don't, don't, don't see this movie. It is without a doubt the worst movie I have ever suffered seeing. If for some sick reason you go to see it, make sure you don't step into the aisle during the first 15 minutes of the movie because you will be trampled by the hordes running out of the theater. The thought that this movie starts out with some creep getting eaten by a large shark-like fish and the Steve Zissou character swearing to hunt down this fat fish and kill it has to be too much for any normal moviegoer. I believe that all of the cast of characters in this movie made up beforehand that they must do the sorriest kind of acting. I would have liked this horrible movie if that large shark-like fish had eaten the entire cast during the first 5 minutes of the movie.
God damn it. It's so bad. Another one.
Trampled by the hordes.
I am not going to be trampled by anybody walking out in the aisle of Steve the Life Aquatic. Just it's not.
Make sure you time your walk into the bathroom, Jim, because you could get trampled.
Yeah. That's a line. It's like 90% like, isn't that a funny one? And like maybe like 0.3%, like maybe it actually happened. It's so bad. I hate it so much.
Oh, it's awful. These people are the worst. And we'll give you one last oneer, Jim. See what this guy's got on for you. What a stinker this one is. I've had a hard time with a few movies that just didn't live up to the ad campaign, and it's always a tip-off when a studio spends as much on ads as it spent on the production. These are serious problems. This is just such a wet turd that I do not know where to start. Leaving aside the fact that there are no Asians here, what? Leaving aside the fact that there are no Asians here, they are trying to parody Jacques Cousteau and they can't even make it funny. Even SpongeBob does a better job. At least the cartoon fish were well done. Perhaps if they just farmed out the whole thing, had the characters drawn, it would have been worth watching on TV as a rerun. But the thing sure isn't worth paying to see. If you do get trapped in, just go theater hop and see something else, either instead or in addition to make it almost worth the pain. So, Jim, were you wondering when you're watching this movie why there were no Asians in it?
Yeah, what was that Asians thing about? Like what? Why would they?
The
I'm
fuck?
so confused.
At
You
what
just
point
like
during the movie did it, or the commercials made you think that like this was an Asian heavy movie?
right? Why were you just expecting an Asian person to be in it?
It's fucking
And
bizarre. Like,
also, I don't know, like the Philippines. That's like Pacific Islanders. Is that what they call them now? Or
sure.
I mean, I know they're Filipino, but like
Yeah.
that's not Asian per se, but it's like in that like Pacific place, right?
Go on, keep going.
No, I think I'm good actually. I think I'm good. I think I'll stop there. I'm just saying, like it's weird that you want a specific type of Asian person in a movie. Like there was people from that like region of the world involved, you know. It just wasn't like the type you were looking for, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know.
I want to make it clear they are the weird one here.
Yeah, I'm glad you cleared that up.
Yeah,
I almost
I
had
should
to say
I
it for
should
a
have just
second.
stopped. I should have just stopped.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what kind of dog this guy was trying to get in this fight, but it was an odd one. But let's switch it over to our tens here, Jim. Let's see if they have anything less crazy to say. Our first tenor writes, first off, Anderson has done it again. And for all you guys in the message board who doubted him, idiots. Wes is amazing. His film techniques are so Sturgis-esque. He uses the camera not only to tell a story, but to draw the viewer in and to once again channel the filmmakers of the past. He can't be matched. And as for him retreating his usual film style, you guys are crazy. If that wasn't a Wes film, I don't know what is. Now, Murray's performance is genuine gold. Some other performances that were also terrific were Kate Blanchett, Defoe, and Owen Wilson. Not to mention the most refreshing performance by Jeff Goldblum. Who expected him to play a perfect prick? Well, if you are an Anderson fan, I strongly suggest you see this film because it's his take on all those old action adventure films of the past. Sure. I guess I'm just an idiot for doubting him. What was I doing on the message boards? You're still muted, genius.
Hello. Hello.
Hello there.
Not as bad as like a lot of the 1-star ones, but still pretty bad.
I
I
didn't
had
know.
to dunk on the message board guys. Like it just like couldn't you have just gone and like messaged them on the message board? Like why did you have to
Had to do it
leave
here.
his comment on IMDb?
Also, were we calling him Anderson now? He's not Wes. He's
Yes.
Anderson. Mr.
Everybody's-
Anderson.
This is early on, early days. Everybody just calls him Wes Anderson now, right?
I guess. Who knew? I give you one more tenor here, Jim.
Sure.
And they go, here goes my first stab at a review. Walking into this picture, I was genuinely hoping a good film after a season of mainly disappoints and wastes of good backstories and large-scale shitfests. Not even 10 minutes in, I was already contempt, spell, question mark, with the picture and was just having a blast watching this from scene to scene. What I most enjoyed was that whole plot is basically go get the shark. So instead of worrying about what the fuck the plot is, I was able to sit back and watch the characters act out this truly great piece of film. Also, I think it was shot great. The music would not have worked in any other movie. The transition from emotions that the viewer feels are great and widespread. And kudos to Wes for not making this film an emotional wheel of fortune. Harry Potter 3, anyone? Also, it was just fun
What?
through and through. So I was
Wait.
entertained, and it wasn't action filler, action car chase filler, good guys win.
Wait, give me what was the Harry Potter 3 thing he said? Give me the context on that.
They wrote the transition from emotions that the viewer feels are great and widespread. And kudos to Wes for not making this film an emotional wheel of fortune. Harry Potter 3, anyone?
Okay. Sure.
Yeah, sure. Was
Sure.
what a wheel of fortune that movie
What an
was.
emotional wheel of fortune that movie was.
Yeah, my God.
I don't even know what that means. Like, I guess you just like tonally, it's not like good. Like, it bounces
get-
around too much.
Maybe just when they went back in time, she's like, it's too much for one person to take. When he said expecto patronum, she was just like, this wheel of fortune, I can't handle it anymore. It's too much for little old me. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that person was on about. Bizarre. I turn it over to you, Jim. Dive into our
Well,
thoughts on the Life Aquatic here for it. You don't have any fan theories, I hope, God willing.
well, you're wrong. I do.
God damn it! I had
I
to
was
open
gonna
up.
say we're not going into my thoughts just yet because we've
Had to
got
open
some
up
other
my
people's
big dumb mouth.
some kind of terrible thoughts. I got no other way to put it. So we'll start with the first one. This is a really tried and true fan theory, like bread and butter kind of fan theory here.
All right, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
The Life Aquatic is one of Max Fisher's plays.
Who's Max Fisher?
Max Fisher is the lead character, like the main character in Rushmore.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Jesus
right,
Christ. Dude.
right. So
Jesus fucking Christ.
the gist of this theory is that Max created the character Steve Zissou by combining Herman Bloom, who I believed is the Bill Murray character in Rushmore, I'm pretty sure, with what he imagined Edward Appleby to be like. Now, I don't remember who Edward Appleby is from Rushmore, so I don't know on that. But he first finds out about them when he checks out a book about Jacques Cousteau. And then basically it just talks a lot about bullshit about like mentors and things like that. But just another classic fan theory where like we can't just let a filmmaker or creative person make two different things. Like everything
It's just got to be connected.
Must be connected.
Everything.
It can't be that there's like that Wes Anderson is interested in Jacques Cousteau, so he put a book in one movie and then made a movie parodying him in another one. Can't be that. Like,
it's got to be interconnected.
yeah.
God,
it also has some action movie quality to it with lots of chaos and over-the-top violence. Think the scenes with the pirates. The only other time we've seen anything like this in Wes's work is Max's play at the end of Rushmore. Now, keep in mind, this was written 10 years ago, this fan theory. So we're talking about 2016. But, like, I feel like there's violence in a lot of Wes Anderson's movies. It's always played off, like, very silly. But there's, like it's always kind of like a dark comedy in a way when there's violence in his movies. But, like, the Royal Tenenbaums, they're talking about suicide all the time. I'm pretty sure somebody tries to commit suicide in that movie. Like it's not violent. You know what I'm saying?
almost like that fan theory holds no water, Jim.
Correct. And so we'll move on to the second one because I do have two.
Oh God! How this movie managed to get two fan theories?
Yeah. The second fan theory, which is maybe the first time we've seen one like this. It's very Wes Anderson, I'll say, right? Okay. Film theory. And this one, to put it into perspective, most of the time these fan theories we get from a subreddit called Fan Theories. This is from a subreddit called True Film. I don't know if you've ever spent any time there. I've perused from time to time and doing some research for this podcast. Okay. It's less goofy people and more like film school student, maybe wannabes. You know what I mean? Like, so this is definitely being posted in a much more serious place from the jump, you know?
Let's go. Let's hear it.
So this film theory for the Life Aquatic, the shark is Ned.
Sure. Okay. Why?
Yeah. So like it's way more convoluted than you could possibly imagine.
Here we go. Here we go.
Steve Zissou and his friend Esteban were bachelors, treating life as a series of swashbuckling escapades until his friends suddenly changed. In the surreal language of the film, he's eaten by a shark. But it's possible this is an expression of becoming overtaken by the responsibilities of fatherhood. So, like, the real bedrock of this theory is that Esteban, metaphorically maybe, was eaten by a shark, But really, what happened to Esteban is he's a dad now, so he's got no more time for Steve Zissou. Their friendship is becoming fractured, you know? Um, I also don't think that he nails the relationship between these two people because I got the vibe that they were either gay or like it was like a father son thing, like which kind of makes sense in the movie, the father son thing, you know? So going on with this fan theory, uh, Steve is remorseful about losing his friend, so he sets out to find out how this could happen and make sure it never happens to him. He's going to hunt the shark that ate his friend and kill it, which remember is fatherhood. so, so
My God, dude.
he's not trying to kill the shark with dynamite. He's trying to kill him ever becoming a father? Question mark.
There's times where it's a fine line where I'm like, I don't know what's worse, the people that just invent fan stuff from nothing in the text, or the people that try and like take a movie and then just equate a just metaphor to it that like doesn't equate whatsoever.
Yeah, and
Like
like
I get
you're
that like
just
fatherhood is a big theme and like within the movie as Steve like deals with Ned, but to be like the shark is the metaphor of fatherhood is just like the fuck are you talking about?
right. It doesn't make any fucking sense because his whole journey to go to the shark is completely centered around him, like, kind of like at an arm's length trying to embrace fatherhood. Like, he's doing the exact opposite of killing it in the movie. You know what I mean? Like, he's not really, like, I don't know. We'll talk more about it, right? That's kind of what we'll talk about in a little bit. But I don't think he's trying to kill the concept of being a father in this movie. If he was, he would have just told Owen, he would have told
And
Owen Wilson to kick rocks. You know what I mean? Like he would never invite him on the boat. He
be like,
never would
come on
have
this
tried to
adventure with
like get
me.
to know him. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. Oh, God. Ah, this makes me so mad.
unless he means that he was literally trying to get him to crash a helicopter into the ocean. Maybe that's what he means. um, but I mean, that's the gist of it. I mean, like he goes into like some other like like quote unquote like well thought out bullshit. um, but um, yeah, I don't know. It's not very persuasive. Let's say it's not that.
Chew up his own ass.
Yeah.
God, awful. Once again, another week goes by. I say every week you can't stand the log line, and every week these fan theories make my skin crawl.
Yeah, that's fair. But these are like, I don't know. I'll defend the fan theories before I defend the log line, but I guess that's why I hate the log line. I don't know.
Oh boy. All right. Let's turn it over to ourselves now. Let's dive into some thoughts on Steve Zissou. How do we feel returning to this movie?
I think I'm going to ask you to go first. I think I'm going to see what you think first because I know
Ooh.
you're not a big Wes Anderson fan. I'm curious to see what happens when you go back to some of his older catalog with fresh
Yeah,
eyes.
I'm not. Yeah, like I said, I've never really been the biggest Wes Anderson fan as time has gone on. Surprisingly, though, I found myself for the most part enjoying this movie. I didn't hate it.
Okay.
Yeah. There and I
Why not?
think and I think what seals the deal for me with this movie is that it has a bit more of a narrative structure than more of his later surreal
Yeah.
stories. That
Yeah, I think that's right.
there's a much easier narrative focus in this movie, which is there's actual plot forward momentum of, Zissou is trying to get revenge on the shark. Zissou is trying to mend and deal with the relationship in his life of his son coming back into it.
Yep.
And it's also at the same time like a very amusing movie and watching just Steve Zissou be an absolute prick to the world
Yeah.
around him
Right.
until he slowly discovers like, hey, I probably shouldn't be a prick. And I like, there's actually like an arc for a character and like a
Yeah.
defining arc for this movie. So it makes it a lot easier. It's definitely much more to my sensibilities of what I like in movies, more so
Yeah.
than some of his later stuff. So it was a lot easier for me to stomach this one. And a lot of the humor, I think, for the most part, hits pretty solidly in this movie too.
It's funny. It's a
Yeah,
really funny
yeah.
movie.
There's a lot. Like Willem Dafoe is like so silly in this movie. Like it just every time he just acts like the petulant little brother that like doesn't want to share the spotlight like with Ned is like cracks me up.
Yeah, yeah, of course, right. The relationship with them the whole time is hilarious. Like even the one where Owen Wilson goes up and slaps him and he's like,
Slap
I
me.
owed you one. He's like, you already stood up for yourself. You didn't owe me one. Now I owe you one. You know, like
It's like, no,
it's
now
like
we're
they have a
even.
good like right, right. They have a good like brother kind of relationship where they're like at odds, right?
Yeah.
Um I think that you're hitting something on the head where like this has maybe more so than a lot of his later movies. This has a very pronounced main character, right? And I think it's really well thought out and it's really well executed, like the arc that he goes on. And there's one small scene that I think makes the whole thing work. It's like when the crew is all watching like the clip of them and like the polar ice caps or whatever the fuck they're doing there, and they're like diving into like the big hole in the ice and like swimming and having a good
He's
time.
diving off
And like
like the 20-foot bow like into that tiny hole.
right. Like he's not a prick back then. Like they're all having fun, you know what I mean? And he's like part of the fun and he's like kind of like the straw that stirs the drink. Like without him is anybody having this fun right now cuz are we making movies even, you know? Um that to me makes the whole thing work because what this movie is about is a guy whose life is over. It's transitioning. It's moving like the time where he was a guy who made movies about going on adventures at sea and going in submarines is over. Like nobody wants to give him money anymore. Nobody likes his films. His wife thinks he's a stuck-up prick. You know what I mean? Like and he doesn't want it to end. So he's so bitter about the whole thing and he goes to so many crazy stops to make it all happen. You know what I mean? And meanwhile, while he's doing all that, the thing that he left behind theoretically, because I don't even know if Owen Wilson's his real son or not. You know what I'm saying? Like the thing that he could have and probably should have been doing with a lot of his time for the last years, the thing that would stick with you even after this thing ends, like this movie adventure sea thing ends, your family is in your face now, like showing you how much you neglected it while you're like, nope, I'm still neglecting it. I need to go blow this shark up with dynamite because I need to. You know what I mean? Like, it's such a great setup for a movie. And then, like, it plays out so masterfully through the second act. Like, where one, yeah, it's hilarious. Like, everything Bill Murray says in this movie cracks me up. He's so funny because he's such a curmudgeon, but he's also so batshit insane. You know what I mean? Like it makes the whole like he drives the ship the whole second thing, and like yeah, like there's a main character of this movie who has a purpose. He has a thing that he's learning, and he's fighting it every step of the way. But inevitably, he can't do anything but learn it, and that's a great movie. You know what I mean? Like what
It's
else do you want in a movie?
it's a great driving movie too because like you're like yeah it's got its plot but it's a very much a character is pushing the plot instead of the plot pushing the character because you've got like you said like Bill Murray is this curmudgeon. It's a guy who can't get out of his own way and can't find this place that where he should be going to at this point in his life. So the whole time he's pushing this movie forward and crazier because he just refuses to accept the call of the next stage of his life. So there's like that
Right.
call to action of like what this movie should be, which is that it's like you now you've got this idea that this could be your son. You should be focusing on that. It's come to you, and all you can think about is getting back at this shark and just holding on to the last vestige of like that previous life that you can. And
Right.
it's just going to cost you everything.
Yeah, and like the reason he wants to kill the shark too is because like it took away like the last thing he enjoyed about it. You know what I mean? Like which was hanging out with his buddy, like hanging out with who I have to assume is his father figure. You know what I mean? Like they are like he is like an older dude. Is like the way I see it in this movie, and like in the beginning when they were like like when he was like kissing him on the forehead, I was kind of like, is that gay? Is that what they're going for there? But then as the movie goes on, it's like, oh no, that's just like they love each other. It's like a father-son relationship that they have. And so like he loses that, and that's like the last thing that he enjoys about this thing. You know what I mean? Like everything else feels like work. Everybody else hates him. Like it's not fun without Esteban. So he just wants to take it out on that fucking shark. Like he just wants to kill the thing that killed his last little bit of joy, you know?
And having that, it's amazing how much having that through line and having that just solid main character to follow lets then the more absurdist like notions of Wes Anderson become more tolerable for me, because this movie still gets like so bizarrely weird in ways that only Wes Anderson movies get. But
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
much more along for the journey in this because I have such a defined person to be behind and an arc to be following that I'm willing, and not only willing, but like in to go along for the ride.
Yeah. No, it makes sense, right? It hooks you in more because there's more of like a emotional journey to go on, and there's like somebody that you can sink your teeth into as all the weird shit's happening. Totally.
It
Yeah.
does get like bizarrely weird, like especially by the time that they're like, "Hey, we're on an island and we're just fucking like battling it out with pirates." It's just
Yes.
like absolutely like they're just like storming the beach like with fucking handguns.
Right. Right, and they're all in like wetsuits and
Yeah.
like
I,
they've got like A team and B team, like they're like tactical. Yeah, it's wild.
it's like
It
absurd.
like
And I did love that running gag too of like anyone that joins Team Zissou gets like a hat and a speedo. Like that always cracks me
yes.
up too.
Yeah. It's great. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's absolutely great.
Yeah.
But it reminded me like, and I think one of my favorite parts about this movie is that it reminds me of, kind of like the Johnny Quest, like which Venture Brothers kind of
Yep.
spoofs later on, like Johnny Quest, right? But like
Yeah.
it's like that kind of mindset where like, yeah, of course a team of sea researchers all have guns and can like storm a beach. You know what I mean? Like it's like it feels like that's exactly the kind of thing they would have made back in the day. Because it's like everybody's doing something cool. Like you can't be a sea researcher without running into some pirates, baby.
Bro, like that's a
Like it
prerequisite,
just
man.
right. It fits that vibe of it, and I think that is kind of the vibe the movie's going for a lot of it. It's a really great way for that vibe to like play out in like the back half of that second act. It's really awesome.
It's hilarious. It's very fun. Now let me ask you, do you how do you feel about them at the end making the choice to not end on a happier note, but to kill Owen Wilson?
Um, I mean, it's definitely a gut punch, right? I would say it's definitely part of why I didn't like this movie as much the first time around, I think, because it
Mhm.
was like really not what I wanted to happen, you know? But I'm brought back to the movie Birth.
Oh boy.
And we talked about this a lot in Birth. Like
Oh boy.
when you do crazy things that really negatively impact all of the people around you, you can't just get whatever you want at the end. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like it doesn't work that way, or at least it shouldn't work that way in movies. Like um you need like the character that is Bill Murray needs to realize that he realized everything too late. You know what I'm saying? Like he needs to have consequences for the absolutely bizarre journey that he's gone on, and the one that he's dragged Owen Wilson on and took thousands upon thousands of dollars from Owen Wilson to drag him on. Like he needs to have some kind of consequences for that in this movie, and I can't think of a better way for him to have consequences. It's like, no, it's too late for you to have this father-son relationship, even if that actually was your son, and or it wasn't. You know what I mean? Whether he was or he wasn't, you could have had it at any point over the last 25 years or whatever it is, and you can't have it now. You know what I mean? Like
I
to
agree.
me it works so great. Like
I agree.
it almost needs to happen.
I agree. I couldn't picture it ending any other way. Like it's exactly to what you say, where like this is the last lesson for him to learn is you learned your lesson, but you learned it too late.
Right. And you're still going to take it with you. That's great.
Yeah.
Maybe you can do some good things with it, but you're not
Yep.
going to get everything you want because you should have learned it a decade ago. You know what I mean? Like
Not only a decade ago, there's been so many moments just throughout this movie where you've been
right.
driving this force where you could have stopped, said enough, and turn this around when there was still time. And you didn't. You dug your heels in harder, and now you get swept out to sea.
Yeah.
And there's
And
no
it's
one to blame but
interesting.
yourself.
It's kind of perfect too, because like going into this knowing that Owen Wilson was going to die this time around, like I caught like a bunch of moments throughout the movie. Like in the beginning, like when he's like, "Do you know how to fly helicopters?" You know what I'm saying? And like everything about what Bill Murray does in that scene is incredibly risky. He's just like, "Oh, you don't really know how to fly helicopters, but you're gonna do it, baby." Like, you know, like, and you want to say yes because you think I'm your dad and you want me to approve of you, but I'm gonna make you do it even though it's incredibly dangerous. You know what I mean? And then, you know, he sails him and all the rest of the crew into the unprotected waters, whatever the fuck that means. And like, you know, of course he sails everybody directly into pirates. You know what I mean? Like he's constantly putting Owen Wilson in danger throughout the movie. And then, like we were saying, by the time he realizes it that it's time to give up, now Owen Wilson's in too deep. So he's like, no, 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 let's go up in the helicopter, you know? Like the one time you were trying to steer him away from danger and back to something more stable is the time that ends up getting him killed because you already sowed the seeds. You know what I mean? Like you can't take it back now. Like even though you don't want to, now he wants to, and now's the time he's gonna die. It's just, it's really great. It's really great. It's
Yeah.
really, really great.
I didn't even pick up on that. Only because when I watched it this time, I had zero recollection of this movie whatsoever. Like I remember
Yeah,
I'd
I
seen it in
remembered
theaters.
that he died. It's like the only thing I remembered about
Really?
it.
Yeah, no, I couldn't remember anything. Um, so I didn't pick up on any of that, but that is very interesting that you say all that. Another
I
thing
also
that
did, for just to be fully transparent, I did remember them storming the beach at the end. So much so, like where when he was going crazy against the pirates on the ship, I was like,
uh,
wait, this can't be the only thing, right? They did the whole beach thing with the wetsuits, and then it happened later on. But yeah, yeah.
I didn't remember anything from this movie whatsoever revisiting this time. Another thing that I found very humorous through all this, and I don't know if it's a function of just like them or just like watching it because I know how she actually talks in real life. But man, did that like Kate Blanchett did such a good job like playing that like reporter, just in the sense that like that didn't sound like her at all. Like
Yeah.
she played that like just like I don't know whether she was supposed to be American or whatever or whatever kind of
I
reporter that
think
she
so.
was. Yeah,
Well, no,
but
no, no. She was English actually,
or
because
English.
they
Yeah, the
mentioned it
English
a couple
reporter.
times that it was like a British baby.
Yeah, the English reporter. But yeah, didn't sound like her whatsoever. Like that voice that she put on for it, I was like, damn, Kate, like no one told you you had to go this hard for this. Like, damn.
Yeah, maybe West did, you know.
Yeah, maybe West did.
Maybe
And that
Anderson did.
yeah. And that's another good like function of bringing that character in there. Just another wedge to put in of Zissou just grinding his gears in harder. That it's just like this guy, like he can't even be like proud for his son if his son like found somebody that like liked him and wanted to be with him because for him it's all about him and he's the most selfish prick on the planet that he can only be like, I saw her first and I wanted her because she's doing a thing on me and I can't share anything.
Right, right. Yeah.
It's just
And then
it's
like
like, God, dude, you're such a prick.
it's interesting too, because like we talk about this a lot where like the really good movies, like, you know, the theme isn't just like about the main character, like it works for a lot of the surrounding characters in certain ways too. So it's like, to me, like um Owen Wilson and Kate Blanchett, like, you know, they do meet because they're with Steve Zissou, you know what I mean? But like there's so many points along that journey where she could just be like, I'm gonna stop writing this story and go home now. And he could be like, this guy's nuts. I'm gonna go home now. And then like, hey, want to give me your number? And like, you know what I mean? Like, they could still like it's almost like you guys are kind of like hitting it off, which is great. Like maybe you could figure out a way to make it work. But both of you, for some reason, are like so focused on this Steve Zissou guy, and it's like dragging both of you down and into his madness. You know what I mean? The same, you need to learn the same lesson he needs to learn, like, because you're doing kind of the same things, you know, just in a slightly different way.
Almost like he's just a vortex and just like everyone caught within it like
Right.
invariably ends up like just forced into the same like delusion and delusions of
And like,
grandeur that like he has.
yeah, and what I mean, not so much that is what I'm saying, but more like, you know, the same way that Steve Zissou can't get over the fact that his life is transitioning into something else, you know what I mean? Like Owen Wilson's never been able to get over the fact that he hasn't met Steve Zissou like his dad. And it's like you have a good job, you have $275,000 in the bank, you've got dating prospects, you know what I mean? You're a handsome guy. You if you could just get over this one thing, you wouldn't be lying dead in the ocean right now. You wouldn't have cleared out your bank account to like fund this like pie in the sky movie. You could have such a better life if you would just allow yourself to have it. You know what I mean? And like it's kind of the same thing, you know? It's like similar themes, which is like exactly what good movies do. You layer it, you know?
Love a good layer, baby. It's good stuff. Is there anything else that we haven't touched on you feel worth mentioning?
Um I just like again, Bill Murray is so fucking funny in this movie.
Yeah, he is far and away like the shining light. Like he just pulls every scene along. It was just such a force.
Yeah. And like I think my favorite one is when the pirates take the boat and just like he's such a like he's a wreck throughout that entire scene and he's on this like wild roller coaster where he goes from like yelling at Owen Wilson because he wasn't because he was supposed to be the lookout and he's in here now and then like yelling to the pirates like don't you hurt him you know what I mean and then like then he's like just wait I'm gonna make my move you know what I mean like he goes to like 10 different places in a matter of like 90 seconds in the movie and all of them somehow seem reasonable and all of them are hilarious at the same time and I think my favorite line in the movie is when it's like when the pirate thing's happening and like Kate Blanchett's like about to pass out or something and she's like I need a baby for this father like she definitely says it backwards for what she meant and then Bill Murray's just like yeah I know what you mean it's like there and there's so many like just gems of lines throughout this movie like Bill Murray says like most of them you know.
No, he's just an absolute madman in that. So good. I really like also the production design for this movie. When it does that shot when it shows off the ship and how it just like they walk from like room to room and it's almost like a stage
Yes,
production of it. Like I
that's
don't
what I
know
mean. Yeah,
how
right.
they did that. Like you said, like whether they built like an actual whole set to like just follow that up, which I mean they very well could have. Like you spent $50 million on it, they easily could have like that a big part of that money could have been like to pull that shot off.
Yeah.
But money well spent if it was that way because like it looks great the way they pull that off.
Yeah. And they're like going upstairs and like going through doors and climbing up ladders and shit. Like,
Yeah,
and they're all just like connected, like following them. And then they're like,
yeah,
yeah, it's really great.
really good. Actually, no, you know what? You know what probably cost them the most money? Getting the rights to all those Bowie tunes to make those covers on it.
Yeah. That's a
that
fair
guy,
point. That's a fair point.
that guy ripping his Bowie jams. But yeah, and I think that's all the big things for my taste. It
Yeah.
was a fun movie. I found myself really engaging with it and really enjoying that like core theme from Bill Murray's character.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, it's just like, I think my favorite part, we've kind of hit on all this, but just to tie a bow on it here, like, the character we were just talking about is happening in a movie where they're like doing like fun sea adventures and fighting pirates and like breaking into like people's sea labs and stuff like it's got like the fun on both levels like where it's funny and also there's like fun like adventurous things happening in the plot and it's about a guy that we were just talking about which like again like you gotta have layers. Like you can make the movie with just the character, but it's way better because of the setting it's in and like the crazy adventure they're on. You know?
Yeah, no, totally agree. Good, a grand old time. And there we go. There's at least one Wes Anderson movie in my repertoire that I say I enjoy.
There you go.
There we go. And maybe I'll revisit some more in the future. Well, not even revisit because there's probably a few that I haven't even seen most at this point. Like I never saw that the one that the Grand Budapest Hotel that got 9 nominations. I never saw that one.
I don't think I've seen that one either, but everything I've ever heard anybody say about that movie is like I don't really like Wes Anderson movies, but that movie was really good. like,
Interesting.
like it's
So
kind of
maybe,
like the most agreed upon. Like everybody seems to like the Grand Budapest Hotel from what I've seen.
all right, so maybe I go to that one next if I'm ever finding myself giving Wes Anderson movies another chance. We shall see. Jim, how do we think old Raji boy felt about this movie?
Ah, hmm. I'm gonna say I'm not gonna play a drop because I think it's gonna kind of be like in the middle. I don't think it's gonna be terrible. I don't think it's gonna be spectacular.
Good old Raj gave this bad boy a 2.5 out of 4.
Ah, isn't that like exactly what I said?
Yep. My rational mind informs me that this movie doesn't work, yet I hear a subversive whisper. Since it does so many other things, does it have to work too? Can it just exist?
Right.
Terminal whimsy, I called it.
So let's just apply that exact sentence to Asteroid City, and that's exactly what I was trying to say earlier. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
it's like, does it need to do more than it did, or can it just be what it was? You know, like,
I mean, listen, if that's what you wanted from it and that works for you,
right?
I don't discount it at all. I don't discount
Yeah,
Wes Anderson as a filmmaker. I get that I get the appeal. That type of filmmaking or that type of movie
yeah, yeah.
doesn't work for me as much as others, but I understand.
Right. Raj, though, as always, like summed up
Yeah.
the things we were thinking and trying to say, like in about a sentence and a half, that like just absolutely encapsulates it. You know,
That's
like
why
everything about this movie tells me it shouldn't work, but I don't know. I'm kind of having a good time, right?
yeah,
like,
this is why he was the king, baby. All right, final rating, final thought. Life Aquatic.
uh, I'm kind of in the same boat as Raj here, like where I think this is kind of a Doctor Dolittle award for me because um it is like everything Wes Anderson wants it to be, I would imagine. And like I don't think he takes many wrong turns in it. I don't know that I would quite call it a 5-star movie because like I don't know, it's not as good as the other movies I've given a 5, I don't think, you know. But I have to say at least like a strong 4, you know what I mean? Like I can't give it anything less than that.
Oh, I think I would agree with that, and I would echo those sentiments and also give it a 4. I think this movie is a lot of fun. And it's a fun ride. I enjoyed it. Those core themes and layered emotionality to it, like made it actually feel like a journey that I was going on, and not so much of the surreal fantasy that I don't really care for. So I was in on this movie. I agree with you that it doesn't quite like feel like in the upper echelon of like those perfect fivers that were given, but
Yeah.
it's definitely still a way fun ride and does a lot of things right and has a
And it's
lot of fun.
like not too far off from being a 5. You know what I mean? Like I don't know exactly what it would need to for me to say it is, but it's like it's almost there, dude. Like it's
Yeah.
very very good.
I'm with you. I'm with you. All right. So, wow, another week, another matching score. With a 4 and a 4, going to give us an overall score of an 8. We actually have, I think 8 might be the most given out score that we have here. We have got a plethora of 8s, which is just a collection of top-notch movies that I'm seeing here, Jim. So
I
let's
bet.
find out where we're gonna sandwich the Life Aquatic here. Do we take the Life Aquatic or do we take old school?
I'll take the Life Aquatic.
I'll also take the Life Aquatic. Life Aquatic or Infernal Affairs.
The Life Aquatic.
I take the Life Aquatic also.
We
The Life,
gave, we both give that a 4. Is that what happened
yeah,
there?
yeah. We both gave Infernal Affairs a 4.
Nice.
Yeah. For the 8s, we're both 4 and 4.
It's just
There's
two
no,
fours. Okay.
yeah, just we're right on the money for these movies. Life Aquatic or Shrek 2.
The Life Aquatic.
Yeah, I would give Life Aquatic
I
also.
dare you to take Shrek 2, asshole.
No, no, no.
There's
I'm
no
with you.
way.
I'm with you. I'll give you Life Aquatic. I'm there with you. Life Aquatic or Team America World Police.
The Life Aquatic. It's gotta be.
The Life Aquatic. The Life Aquatic or Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets.
I'll take Harry Potter.
Yeah, I'm taking Harry Potter also. I think that's where you would have lost me if you said Life Aquatic.
The first 3 Harry Potter movies are like so good. They're all so good, those first 3.
So that's an easy win right there tonight, baby. Life Aquatic and a sandwich in the number makes the top 25, right in the number 25 spot, behind Harry Potter and ahead of Team America World Police. But we'll round out the rest of the eights for shits and giggles. Life Aquatic or Shaun of the Dead?
I don't know. You go first on that one. I'm curious to hear what you say.
I would take Shaun of the Dead. The
Yeah,
Shaun of the Dead is so tightly written. It's just that
I think you're
the
right.
first act of Shaun of the Dead is just like it should be studied by everybody that wants to do
Yeah,
anything with film.
you're right. You're right. I wanted to pick it, but I was like, I needed to hear you say it first. I
Yeah.
didn't have any confidence in it, but you're right.
Uh, Life Aquatic or Collateral?
Collateral.
Yeah,
Definitely collateral.
Collateral all day. Dude, the eights, dude, we might be spot on with the fucking eights, man. Life Aquatic or Seabiscuit?
Definitely Seabiscuit.
Definitely Seabiscuit.
Dude, Seabiscuit does not get enough credit, bro. More people need to
Seabiscuit,
be
bro.
talking about Seabiscuit.
Dude, I'm telling dude, the eights, just like a absolute powerhouse collection of movies right here.
Like Seabiscuit made me want them to make another horse racing movie so bad. But like shot like the way F1 is shot, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
but
Like,
for horse racing.
dude, Seabiscuit made those horse racing scenes so fucking intense, man. It was great.
Dude, such a good movie. The Life Aquatic or You Sack of Wine, Roy.
I'll take Troy. I
Troy,
will say though,
all day.
Troy does feel a little out of place on this list. I'm not
No,
gonna
no.
lie.
Troy in
Just
the
a little,
eights.
just a
Troy in
little.
the eights. Totally spot
It's
on.
just astonishing to me that it's that high up that list because there was a lot of good movies. I mean, like a lot of comedies on the lower end of it, but once we got into the meat and potatoes, like I don't know, Troy feels a little out of place.
I could see a case being made for Troy to be a few levels lower in the eights, but still absolutely deserving in the eights.
Yeah. Okay.
Life Aquatic or How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
How to Lose a Guy in 10
Yeah,
Days.
absolutely.
Not
Yeah,
even close.
we were so high on that movie, and I will continue to be high on that
It's a
movie.
great movie. Yeah, there's
Yep.
nothing to be upset about.
Life Aquatic or Signs.
Signs. Yeah, I'll
Signs.
take
Yeah.
Signs.
And then the King of the Eights, Life Aquatic or A Knight's Tale.
This, man, I don't know if I'm just in a weird mood tonight. I mean, I'm taking A Knight's Tale, but this is the first time I've questioned it being the King of the Eights. Like, after you just read that list of movies, it's like, did I really pick A Knight's Tale over Signs? Like, what was I
We
thinking?
did. We did. Knight's Tale. But yeah, dude, the eights, man. The eights are packing heat.
Yeah, it's a good list for sure.
Yeah. No matter where you're falling on the list, the eights are bringing the jams. I'll bring the jellies. What do we got next week?
So we're gonna stay in this weekend from the 10th through the 12th. We're
Yes,
gonna
we
be
are.
watching the last, maybe the best Blade movie.
Oh, yes, we are. A little movie called Blade Trinity. And
When was the last time you watched a Blade movie?
Jim, I don't think I've watched a Blade. Well, I know the last it would have to be when we saw Blade Trinity in theaters in 2004. I couldn't
Right.
tell you when I've watched either of the first two. It had to be before that. And I can tell you now, if we're doing Blade Trinity, I'm going to be doing my due diligence and I'm going to rewatch the first two also just to prime myself. Because
Okay.
I don't think I could tell you a single scene from certainly not from two. I think the only thing I remember from one is that it starts with the fucking blood rave in the meat packing
Yeah, the
plant.
Blood Rave is good.
Yeah,
I
and
also
that's the only thing
remember-
I remember of the first one.
I remember, I can literally picture it in my head as we're talking. The scene when he finally breaks down and like the lady's like, no, 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 drink my blood, you know, and
Yeah.
he like gives in and like drinks her blood. Like I literally can picture Wesley Snipes like vampire draining that lady. Like it's like burned into my brain.
Ooh.
Yeah. So like I also have not seen a Blade movie in a long time. I think well actually that's not true. I mean I did kind of say this earlier. I watched Blade Trinity already, like in preparation for next week's episode. So
Ooh,
really
look
I
at you
watched a
ahead
Blade
of the
movie
curve,
like yesterday. but
ahead of the
before
game.
that I didn't watch one for like probably since we saw Blade Trinity in theaters. Like I left Blade Trinity like the theater being like, yeah, I'm good. I don't need to ever see any of those again, you know?
We're done
Like
there.
and then they never made another one, and I never really went back and watched any of them after that.
Yeah, so this is going to be a fun one to do, if only for the fact that I get to go back and refresh myself on a fucking just pivotal Wesley Snipes role.
Yeah,
So regardless of what Blade Trinity ends up being, I don't remember enjoying that movie whatsoever when we saw it back in 2004.
yeah,
So if 14-year-old me wasn't jamming on it, I doubt 36-year-old me is going to either. But
yeah,
I imagine the first two probably still hold up.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm probably not going to go back and watch the other two. I did watch Trinity already, like I said, but
Yeah.
I think maybe that's how we'll do this going into next episode. Like, you rewatch the trilogy, and then I'll just watch Blade Trinity to see, like, you know, if maybe I'm remembering Blade Trinity a little more fondly now just because I didn't watch the other good Blade movies. You know what I mean? Like,
Interesting. Okay,
I
yeah,
will give
that's a
you a
good
teaser
experiment there.
though. I will give you a teaser. There's one particular thing about Blade Trinity that made me like miss like early 2000s movies. Like genuinely be like, man, I wish movies were still like this, you know?
Did Triple H?
No, not Triple
Is
H.
it? There's not enough Triple H in movies today.
No, it's not Triple H. Although Triple H
Okay.
was great. And we'll talk more about it next week.
Yeah, I mean, I am very interested to see how I'll feel about Blade Trinity in particular, simply because it stars an actor who, whenever I see him in a movie, I instantly want to pull my eyes out. Um, and that man
Ryan
is
Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds. I
Yeah.
fucking can't stand Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah. I mean,
I
we'll get more into it next
yeah,
week. I got a lot
and
of thoughts about
yeah,
Ryan Reynolds, that's for
yeah.
sure.
So we'll dive into more of that, but I guess that's my teaser. Is going to be it's very interesting to see how I stomach this movie, knowing that I have to sit through a performance of it.
Yeah. I
So
think
so we'll
where
see.
we sit right now, I think we can both agree that Blade Trinity is the worst Blade movie.
Yeah.
But I am interested to see after we've both watched it and you've watched the other two Blade movies if that still holds true.
Okay. You ready for it? What was the last thing you jammed on?
Um, I've been watching the show Yellow Jackets. Have you ever heard of that show?
Yeah, I haven't watched it, but Heather watched it.
Yeah.
And she was a big fan in the early seasons, and then I think she said by like season three, like it just was like they just ran out of stuff to do. Like there, it's like it was a show that has a really bangerang first season, I imagine, and then when they were like, we have to come up with a way to keep this going, it instantly had to get like crazier and more convoluted, and it kind of just falls apart.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely say that that's where I was expecting it to go. Like,
Yeah,
because yeah, like it's got a really interesting premise. Like, it's like they're a soccer team, like that's going to like the national
yeah.
championships
And
or
they get
something.
like lost in the woods and shit. Yeah, I know like
Yeah,
the
their plane crashes and they're
yeah,
like stuck in the woods, and then like it's like jumping back and forth from like them in the future to them when they're still in the woods, and like
the very
it's
Lost-esque.
it's cool. Yeah, it's cool, and it's got like like it kind of breadcrumbs you along in really good ways. Like the certain things it shows you in the future just make you ask more questions about the past, and it's like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? But I could also see like it's like they can't keep it going for very long because like the rubber's gonna have to start hitting the road, and like things are gonna start happening, and then it's like there can't be 1,000 things. Like they're only in the woods for a certain amount of time. Like it's
It's like there can only be so much tension and plot and stuff before we got to be like, well, now we're just getting ridiculous.
right, right. And it's like it feels very much like a TV show because it doesn't really have like a singular stated like goal that it's going for or anything that anybody's trying to achieve per se. It's just like characters getting put into situations like TV is. But like I feel like they're gonna run out of situations. Like I don't think the second season I'm gonna enjoy at all. But so far the first season I'm loving it.
Yeah, that's what I remember Heather saying is that the first season is great. And then when they get to the point now where they're like, well, now we have to make however many seasons we have to make. It's just like, well, now we're
Yeah.
we're doing a little too much now.
Like, let me put it to you this way. I wouldn't be shocked if, like, sometime in season 2, they're like, oh my God, another plane crashed in the woods. There's a whole another group of people now. Because
Yeah.
it's like, there's only like 10 of you. And, like,
Yeah.
you're
So there's
going to start
only so
eating each
much.
other sooner or later. And, like,
Yeah.
once you start eating each other, that's going to, there's only 10 of you. Like, you're going to thin out really fast, you know?
There's only so much we can do here.
Right. Like,
Absurd.
and like, I guess in theory the past stuff has an ending, which is they get rescued, but like that's got to happen somewhere between when they start eating each other and when there's also still some people left alive, which doesn't feel like a very big window to me. I don't know.
Yeah, kind of very limiting to themselves in that regard.
Unless a second plane crashes and they got some supplies, you know what I mean? Like maybe
Sure.
we can keep this rolling. Like they
Sure.
find like a random hatch in the woods. That's kind
There
of
we go. Sir, a second plane has just hit the campsite.
Yeah. And then like then you also like introduce those same characters in the future. Like when the plane crashes in the past, like one of the original girls is like Janine just called me, and like then there's like 6 more of them. They're like, "Oh no, I thought we told them never to talk to us again." Like, that's why we haven't been talking to them up until now when they just showed up.
Just expanded this whole ball game.
You're right. Like I'm just saying, like if something like that happened in season 2, I wouldn't be like
Be
totally surprised. You know?
They're like, this bad boy's going into extra innings.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Like maybe the other team from Nationals crashes a plane
Yeah.
because they're like, no, we were supposed to play. Like
Fucking absurd.
we want to play our game.
Play the game in the woods.
Yeah, dude, they got to settle the score at Nationals somehow. You know,
Gotta,
like
dude, it's gotta happen. It's the only way for this to end.
right. But yeah, what have you been jamming on?
The last thing I watched is fucking I watched Under Siege.
Okay.
I'd never seen Under Siege before.
Now, Under Siege.
The Steven
That
Seagal.
is the Steven Seagal movie when he's on the ship, right?
Yes, yeah, he's the
Yeah,
cook.
okay.
Yeah, he's
And
the
Tommy Lee Jones is the villain.
yeah, he's the cook on the ship, and Tommy Lee Jones and Gary Busey team up to like strip mine the ship and like steal
Yeah.
its nuclear warheads. Yeah,
Right.
And bring
so
about
that they
it,
can
yeah.
like ransom the nuclear
Yeah.
warheads or something. And
Yeah.
Tommy Lee Jones, now if I remember correctly, he plays like a rock star kind of guy. Like the way
He
he dresses,
poses-
like he's
yeah,
like
he
almost
dresses.
like Mick Jagger.
yeah, because he's posing as like the head guy in the band that's playing on the ship, like as a way to like gain entry
That's
to
what
the
it
ship.
was. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, but he's really just like a CIA covert operative that went rogue,
Oh, okay.
which
Right.
like
And then like Steven Seagal's like the cook, and they like
Yeah.
overlooked the cook. Like they were like the cook is like this like black ops like
Yep.
yeah.
after Panama, he struck his superior officer, so he got bumped down to being a line cook
Yeah,
on a
dude,
ship.
Of
Yeah,
course he did. Of course he
Dude.
struck his superior officer.
it is bombastically, hilariously dumb good in a way that only 90s action movies were capable of being. And it's amazing that while I couldn't like Steven Seagal might be one of the worst actors I've ever seen on screen, while
Oh, he's
simultaneously like enjoying the shit out of like whatever he's doing in this. Like his delivery of every line was simultaneously the worst thing I've ever heard, and also like hilariously entertaining for the movie. Like
Yeah, yeah. It like the 90s really knew how to get like because it had to be somewhat tongue in cheek, right? Like it wasn't like serious. Like
violently tongue in cheek.
right. So it's like they had a way, and like I don't think Steven Seagal realizes that he was kind of like the joke. But he was kind of the joke even back then, you know?
Like there's like a scene where like they put him in the meat locker and like stick him in there because they don't want him to like show up when the shit hits the fan.
Right.
So
right.
like yeah, so like there's a guard on duty watching him, and the whole time he's like Private, you gotta get up there, man. Those are gunshots. And then the guy's like, I'm not listening to you, man. He just goes, well, take my pies out of the oven. It's like,
yeah, right.
fuck.
And that's how he like tricks him into like he like gets the space to do his Black
It's
Ops
like-
moves.
But it's just like the silliest line delivery where he's like, Private, take my pies out of the oven.
Yeah. Right. I gotta watch it, dude. He's so bad.
It's so funny. And also just like I don't know who convinced Tommy Lee Jones to be in that movie, but God bless them.
Yeah.
Because like
He
he
definitely
is,
steals the show.
yeah, absolutely steals the show. And it is so funny that that's his follow-up movie after doing JFK.
I mean, he definitely made some fun ones.
Dude, I was looking at his run in the 90s, man, and it's just like banger after banger. It was like, dude, Tommy Lee Jones is fucking presence in the 90s like no
Dude,
other person.
what's that one where he's like the lawyer defending, I want to say Samuel Jackson, who like opened fire like at like an embassy or something? Like he was like a soldier and there was like some shit going down at an embassy. And like Samuel L. Jackson like opened fire on like a crowd of people and he's on trial and Tommy Lee Jones is his lawyer. He's like getting court-martialed maybe, like something like that. What is that movie
Rules of
called?
Engagement.
That's it. That's definitely it. Yeah, Rules of Engagement.
Yep, Tommy Lee Jackson, Samuel L. Jackson. Samuel L. Jackson plays a U.S. Marine who was brought to court-martial after Marines under his orders kill a large number of civilians outside
Yep.
the U.S. Embassy in
There
Yemen.
it is. Yep. Yeah. Rules of Engagement, dude. Check that movie out.
I've seen that. I've seen that movie.
Okay.
Yeah, that movie. That
Okay.
movie rips, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, like he just crushed. Like, listen to this run in the 90s for Tommy Lee Jones. JFK to
Yeah,
Under
let's hear it.
Siege to
Yep.
The Fugitive to Blown Away to The Client, Natural Born
Okay.
Killers,
Yep.
Batman Forever,
Yep.
Volcano,
Yeah.
Men in
I mean,
Black.
like, it's not like it's starting to get not so serious for a little while, and then he makes Men in Black, and it's like he's back, baby.
Men in Black, the Fugitive sequel, U.S. Marshals.
Yeah, another great movie,
Yeah.
dude.
Great movie. Lends his voice to Small Soldiers.
Yeah.
Just Double Jeopardy. And that's his finishing movie in the 90s is Double Jeopardy. And then following Double Jeopardy to kick off the 2000 is Rules of Engagement.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
he's definitely slinging fastballs. I'll tell you
dude,
that much.
what a fucking run, dude. Just legendary. So yeah, Under Siege, great entertaining action movie. And thank you to whoever convinced Tommy Lee Jones to do it because we're all the better for having witnessed it. But now we turn it over to you people. Check out all these movies for yourself. As always, form your own opinions and tune in with us next time when we dive into Blade Trinity. And as always, we'll see you at the movies.